For more analysis, we're joined from Jericho by Mr. Abdelnasser Makki, the political science professor, and from the occupied Jerusalem by Ms. Ratiba Natsha, member of the Palestinian National Action Committee. Good afternoon to you both, and welcome to Qnews. Let me start here with Mr. Makki. And how do you interpret the significance of the April 17th Palestinian Prisoners' Day within the larger context of the Palestinians struggling, especially at this time as war continues and raged for 18 months?
Welcome, and for you and also for your guests. So I will start it from, that's after 1967. The Palestinians started after the Israeli occupied West Bank and also Gaza and the Arab territory, Palestine Arab and the Arab territory. So the Palestinians started struggling against the Israeli. And from that day, they started now to know about what is the Palestinian prisoners, which was started after 1967 and even before that. But I think we could say that a huge number of the prisoners of the Palestinians were against the Israeli occupation in Gaza and West Bank, and also in 1948, and also from Syria and from Jordan and from even Lebanon. The huge number was in after the first Intifada in 1988, when the first Intifada started. So we witnessed about thousands of Palestinians, that was prisoners in the Israeli and the Israeli occupation. That they opened many of the prisoners and on West Bank and also in the 1948 area. It was maybe you are talking about thousands of the Palestinians who, that enter the Israeli prisoners because they are struggling against the Israeli. They are, that's looking for the freedom and also for the ending of the, that's the occupation. And after that, even we are talking about in 2000 when they started, 28th of, that's September, the second Intifada. Also, thousands of Palestinians have been also was in the Israeli prisoners prisons. So we are talking about hundred thousands of Palestinians who have been, that's entered to the Israeli prisoners because they want their freedom against the Israeli occupation, and it's as you know, from maybe about from 50 years or 55 years. After that, we are talking about this number of the Palestinian prisoners, and also the huge number, also the increase after the 7th of October 2023. Hundreds, also thousands of Palestinians, especially from Gaza and also in West Bank. In West Bank, the Israeli, that's they put in prisons about 10,000 Palestinians, while there are before about 5,000 Palestinians. Many of them was before 1993, before Oslo Accord, and also thousands of the from Gaza. They were, that's put in custody, especially on one of the worst, that's prisons, a prison which called CDT Man. They are from the prisoners from Gaza. Nobody knows about what their conditions. The Israeli killed many of them. The Israeli even started the worst treatment to the Palestinians after the 7th of October. Hundred or thousands of Palestinians, even who are released, they were suffering from, that's minimize of their lose their weights, and because of the Israeli, they didn't give them the, that's food and also drink, and especially after the that's the head of the security of the Minister of Security, Internal Security, Ben Ghafir. So we are talking about hundred thousands of Palestinians who put in the custody in the Israeli prisons, and they are suffering. But now they are the most miserable condition is now, especially for the prisoners from the Gaza. The number of the prisoners now, according to the that's to the last information, it's about 9,900. From them, about 3,398 they are administrative, put in custody without any, that's accusing any in the court. without any, that's even any guilty, and also 400 children, 27 they are women. So this is the number, but also the most important issues here is that hundreds or thousands of prisoners from Gaza, we don't know about them. They are, according to the Palestinian, that's institution for the prisoner. They said that thousands of these prisoners from Gaza, they are disappeared. Nobody knows where they are, especially the Israeli didn't say anything about, and there is no information about the number of the prisoners from Gaza. Every day, the Israeli, that security, army, and intelligence. It's every day they they go to West Bank and they, that's arrested many of the Palestinians in all
Yes.
cities of West Bank and villages.
We'll get to that exact point. Let me get here to or go to Ms. Natsha. And Ms. Natsha, we're speaking about the whole situation at large. So the humanitarian situation in Gaza is catastrophic. How are Gazans surviving under such brutal conditions under the Israeli bombardment and all this, particularly with Israel blocking humanitarian aid from entering the Strip?
Absolutely. The Gaza Strip is suffering the most difficult conditions in the Palestinian history and in wars in the modern era. Actually, the blocking the humanitarian aid for more than 2 months and targeting the storage of the humanitarian aid, food, and pharmaceuticals. Longo is targeting the infrastructure. You're talking about how for Gaza to confront the blockaded strip for more than 17 years and with shortage of capability. We're talking about 56 days of the war and 2 months of the blocking the entry of the humanitarian aid completely from the Strip. The means of resistance are null. We would facing all the Israeli threats under the absolute starvation, along with the collective decision, we might see later on a collective death due to starvation and the lack of the basic needs and targeting what has been left, even if they are primarily and targeting those who are working in the field of the humanitarian aid. The funds are not from the Gaza Strip, but what is requested to effectuate the international instrument, trying to find effective tools to enable Israel to enter the humanitarian aid and to put an end of the war under the resolution of the United Nations.
Ms. Makki, as you said respectively that there are growing numbers of prisoners and detainees. Now, how do you evaluate the scale of this systematic detention policy by Israel, and what could be the real motives behind the occupation's campaign of mass arrests, particularly in the West Bank, for an instant?
Yes, I think about the Israeli by that like they practice their policy of even going to the West Bank and all the cities and the villages, and also the Israeli policy try now to arrest anybody who just say anything against the Israeli occupation, especially in Gaza and also the north part of Jerusalem. The Israeli try that's to even to send a message to the Palestinian people that nobody should make anything against the Israeli, that's actions in the ground, especially in Gaza. And this related to the also the policy and the strategy in Gaza, which is the aggression there to killing the people and also to nation demolition, also all the that's the buildings, all the level of the life in Gaza. And also they apply this in the West Bank, especially in the north part, in Jenin, Tulkarem, and also now they try to in Nablus. And I think the Israeli strategy now is trying to, that to let the people to leave this country, that's voluntary. They said like, which is not true because they create a bad environment to the Palestinian in West Bank and in Gaza, and the Israeli, that's government, which is the extreme government, want the people of the Palestine to leave because this is the problem, which is the demographic problem for the increased number of population in West Bank and Gaza, which is, that's make problem to the Israeli, and also the problem that they will be like a block to their, that's strategy for making this place or Palestine to be Jewish country, a pure Jewish country, state. And but because of the Palestinian is that's in the land, especially in the West Bank and Gaza. So the Israeli strategy now is trying to that's to make the people to leave the country without even let any of them to stay here. That we are talking about thousands or hundred thousands of Palestinians who are in youth and they are graduates from the university, especially in the West Bank. So the miserable, we are talking about the miserable economic condition in the West Bank before the 9th of October, before the 7th of October 2023, about 200,000 workers from Palestine, from the West Bank was working inside Israel, 1948 area. And we are talking about the economic, that's revenue for this, which about maybe $1 million each year. So we are talking about money, and this money is, that's good to the Palestinians to stay in their land and not to leave this country and to stay on their home and to their land. But Israeli, by doing like this and, that's by blocking all the borders and not allow to the Palestinian workers to go to Israel to work there. So the condition here is, that's a problem in the West Bank. It's a problem here, and I think the Israeli will continue try to to apply their strategy to increase the pressure on the Palestinian people to leave their country in West Bank and Gaza.
Ms. Natsha, the Palestinian Prisoners' Day is really a day to mark the Palestinian national struggle. What has changed in the political value and symbolism of this day, particularly in this current war times or period?
The symbol of the President's Day marking this day, but each time and all the periods, the more sensitivity of the Palestinian cause, we found measurements directed to the Palestinian prisoners as the symbol of heroic. So the Israeli occupation tried to undermine the determination and the mindset. So by more suppressive measurements to deter their willingness, determination, and to spoil the image of a hero imagined in the Palestinian people along with the symbol of struggle. As we've seen since October the 7th, it's a measurement of oppression against the Palestinian prisoners that reached to the absolute starvation and taking them out, take out of them their clothes, even in the harsh season of winter, and prisoners are piled up in the prisons, and to prevent them even from taking the showers that would lead to be affected with diseases of their maternal. and deprive the women from their basic needs to deprive them from entering the bathroom. We're talking about the exacerbation of the health situation within the prisons. We're talking about 300,000 child that are facing a very harsh torture that wound or injured or have the children affected with the diseases that the authorities close the prisons due to the dissemination of bugs and forms of bacteria in the environment of the prisons. In return, all these, despite these measures, several were out amputated and have the signs of tortures, and even the prisoner in the West Bank detained before the 7th of October as a result of this punishment came out with highly deteriorated conditions, and as we've seen this a few weeks ago, that one of them couldn't stand on the floor due to their suffering and being transferred to the hospital to receive medication. So we're talking about that the Minister of the Home Security, Ben Gvir, that he is fully responsible of the prisoner, demanded to stipulate an act of hang them by saying it's better to shoot them into their heads, and he's in fact is practicing some sort of field suicide due to the punishment, and the official number being issued since October the 7th, around 63 prisoners who died under the oppression and tortures, and we think the number could be doubled, particularly after we've seen the grave mass or the mass graves, and we've seen their hand being tight, and they were martyred collectively in such mass graves. And this could be a signal that Israel is using the absolute torturing against the prisoners that led the deaths of some of them, even during investigations or the proceeding of detentions. We're talking about thousands of the prisoners that have been forcibly disappeared, and their numbers aren't announced by Israel officially, but to the Red Crescent. In its return, the Red Crescent did not practice more pressure against Israel to expose the conditions of the Palestinian prisoners, even not to make regular field visits to explore the conditions according to the international protocols and Geneva Convention regarding the prisoners in time of war. So we're seeing a double standard against the Palestinian cause with respect to the prisoners and trying to torture them and killing them while they are in prison.
Right, Dr. Makki, finally here, are there any kind of legal or political mechanisms viable to bring Israel to justice for its war crimes at large, and in particular its war crimes against Palestinian prisoners?
You know, that's even that when we're talking about to bring the Israeli to the ICC or to the, that's the court, crime court. I think what's happening, even this is what now, it's as you know, witness after the visit of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Hungary, and that they withdraw from Hungary from the ICC, and also in the same time the American administrative is supporting Israeli crimes by not saying anything, and also but not pressuring against the Israeli what they are doing, because as you know, what we are witnessing in the West Bank, and even from the prisoners, and even as you know, they are killing about 54 after the 7th of October, and hundreds and or thousands of people, of Palestinian prisoners, have been killed in the Israeli prisons without any, that's any investigation. And even there an investigation, the Israelis refuse to receive any committee. So we are talking about now the Israeli is not even, that's
Right.
interested. This is the point. Israeli is consider itself as above the law, and nobody will talk to the Israeli, accuse Israeli, and bring it to the
Well,
ICC.
but Dr. Makki, this is the role that should be played by the international world body or the world bodies. Anyway, that was Mr. Abdelnasser Makki, the political science professor, and Ms. Ratiba Natsha, member of the Palestinian National Action Committee. We thank you so much for your valuable insights.